Line unmuted.
This is only for the February then, so we'll need to update in October.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. This, everyone stand. Commissioner Vince will lead us in prayer, followed by the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you right now for this hour. We thank you for this opportunity. We bless your name because your name worthy to be blessed. Father, we come right now trying to do what's best for our county and our citizens. We thank you for what you're going to do. We thank you for what you've done thus far. Father, as we make decisions, it's not personal, but it's what's best for all of us. And we thank you right now. Father, we also ask right now to bless the youth of this town, of this city, of this county, and their efforts, because they are truly our future for tomorrow. We thank you and we bless you for them right now. Then, Father, help us as we go from one good degree to another. These blessings and all other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting this Monday, February 3rd, 2025, 6 p.m. We have a conference line set up. Number there is 1917-900-1022. Access code 32347#. This is not a toll-free number, and you may be subject to long distance charges according to your long distance plan. When the chairperson opens the meeting for public comment, please follow the below instructions. If you wish to speak, please dial *5. The moderator will unmute your line when it's your turn to speak and notify you by announcing the last 4 digits of your telephone number. Please announce your name and address. You will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. Any person wishing to address the board regarding an agenda item will be given 3 minutes for comment. A commenter may only speak 1 time for each agenda item. With that said, we will move on to, before we approve our agenda, we do need to table item 11. That was put in today's date by mistake, so that's really coming to the next meeting, so we will table 11. Well, we're paying a motion to approve the agenda. Second. Second by Commissioner Moody, all in favor?
Aye.
We'll move on to award for recognition, recognition item 4. The board to consider approval of proclamation to February 17th through the 20th, 2025 as 4-H and FFA Livestock Show and Sale Week. The agenda by Commissioner Michael Newman.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I just want to recognize all of our club members and FFA folks that have put in all this work, and I believe the clerk has a proclamation there. So congratulations to all our exhibitors and their parents and the sponsors and everybody, the staff that's had part in that. We're looking forward to a great fair.
We'll entertain a motion to read the proclamation.
Move, Al Moore.
Got a motion to read, we got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Clerk?
All right, and I'll just read the whole thing.
Go ahead.
Proclamation recognizing the 4-H Livestock Club members and FFA Livestock Club members, whereas the youth of Taylor County is one of the county's most valuable resources. 4-H Livestock Club members and FFA Livestock Club members contribute to the agriculture industry through learning how to raise and sell livestock. The 4-H Livestock and FFA Livestock projects teach youth how to apply leadership skills, acquire a positive self-concept, build confidence, and learn to respect and get along with people. And whereas the 4-H Livestock and the FFA Livestock projects have helped many youth in Perry, Taylor County, Florida, to gain confidence in themselves by being responsible for an animal that is solely dependent on them. The projects help youth develop responsible behaviors through the daily care of keeping the animal fed and clean place for the animal to live, and working with the animal daily to be prepared for the show ring, decision-making skills through learning what feed to use, and financial management skills through keeping records of expenses for the project. And whereas North Florida Livestock Show Week showcases the incredible ways the 4-H and FFA inspires kids to do and highlights the remarkable 4-H and FFA youth in Perry, Taylor County, Florida, who work each day to learn and value hard work, agricultural commodities, and make a positive impact on those around them. And then now, therefore, Taylor County Board of County Commissioners do hereby proclaim February the 17th through the 20th, 2025 as the North Florida Livestock Show and Sale Week throughout Perry, Taylor County, Florida, and encourage all of our citizens to recognize 4-H and FFA for the significant impact that they have made and continue to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Done and ordered on this 3rd day of February 2025 in Taylor County, Florida.
Mr. Chairperson, I think Abby wanted to say something.
Yes, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Honorable Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak today in recognition of the outstanding accomplishments of our Taylor County 4-H Youth and Livestock exhibitions. This year, we are proud to have 12 youth participating in Taylor County, from Taylor County at the North Florida Livestock Show and Sale, demonstrating their hard work, dedication, and commitment to agricultural excellence. In addition to this remarkable achievement, I'm thrilled to share for the first time ever, we have 3 4-H members from Perry competing at the Florida State Fair exhibiting cattle. This milestone is a testament to the growth of our livestock program and the determination of young people to expand their skills and compete at the highest levels. Their participation places Taylor County on the map in the Florida livestock community and serves as an inspiration for the future generations of 4-H youth. These accomplishments would not be possible without the unwavering support of our community, families, and of course you guys. On behalf of Taylor County 4-H, I extend my gratitude to the board for your continued support of our programs and youth development initiatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything from the board? Nothing, we will entertain a motion to approve the proclamation.
I move.
Have a second, all in favor? Aye. Very good. Do we,
Want the children to come up?
So, all the exhibitors have come up and to the front, we'll get a picture of everyone.
We came straight in from Tennis.
Y'all want to hold this in the front?
Maybe we have to wait.
Y'all in the front?
You know, have kids and know it.
And then you want to give it there by Lacey? Y'all squeeze in, because there's a lot of them. Charlie, do you want to get in front of them? Because I think that's coming over here. Just a little bit better.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna step in front of all the parents and get a picture and then get out of the way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, you don't want to get in it with them?
Yeah, I can. Hang on.
I would say so.
He smiles.
I'm gonna ask everyone to look at me first, because for the paper, and then I will get out of the way of all the younger parents. Or look, you and me. Mary looks behind me. All right, everybody smile. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Congratulations. Great job.
Well, that's my cue to leave.
We'll move on to item 5, under awards and recognitions. The board to consider approval of proclamation to proclaim February the 14th through 16th, 2025 as Steinhatchee Fiddler Craft Festival Week, presented by Commissioner Michael Mann.
Mr. Chairman, I've been working with our team that's supported this festival, good gracious, for months. On the heels of so many adverse effects and challenges, I'm pleased that the commitment of this group and our community has came together so that we can celebrate the 17th annual Fiddler Craft Festival. So, this proclamation is just to recognize those efforts, signaling everyone that's interested and ready to come out to the festival that things are quickly coming together, and there's been a lot of effort and hard work going on behind the scenes. So I'm pleased to have had a part in that and thankful for everybody that's took part. So Mr. Redland is here on behalf of that group, and just thankful again for his leadership and all the things that are taking place down there. There's been much effort going into that.
Very good. So, we have a proclamation on the table. You'll obtain a motion to read the proclamation.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Newman, all in favor?
My turn. Proclamation 17th Annual Steinhatchee Fiddler Craft Festival. Whereas February 2025 marks the 17th anniversary of the annual Steinhatchee Fiddler Craft Festival in Taylor County, Florida, and whereas the festival was conceived to bring tourism to the area at a time when fishing was closed in February and business dried up for most, and whereas the festival started with about 30 vendors for the first time, and with bad weather brought an estimated 2,500 people to town, and whereas the festival grew within just a few short years, the economic impact exceeded that of the July 4th Scallop rush, and now has anticipated attendance of 17,000 for the 2025 festival. And whereas the Steinhatchee Fiddler Craft Festival hosts food, arts and crafts, a boat show, a Taste of Steinhatchee cook-off, fireworks, live music, a fishing tournament, poker run, as well as a parade. And whereas the family-friendly festival is an exciting and memorable weekend for residents and tourists, and whereas now therefore be it resolved that the Taylor County Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim the week of February 14th through 16th, 2025 as Steinhatchee Fiddler Craft Festival Week, done and ordered this third day of February 2025 in Taylor County, Florida.
Very good. All right, so we have a motion to approve the proclamation.
I move.
Motion by Commissioner Dent, do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Moody, all in favor?
Can I say,
You wanna say something, Mr. Moore?
I just wanna, thank you guys for helping us again, 17th year. And, man, getting old. 17 years, but it's, we're at about, we have over 300 vendors, and we'll have the crowd. Appreciate you guys getting the prisoners to help us clean up the town. I mean, it's not perfect, it's gonna take years to clean that place up, but thank you for all your help and getting everything ready and approving the stuff we needed done to get all together, and hopefully it's looking like it should be a good turnout. Hopefully weather will be good and be good to go. And thanks again.
Thanks. Can we do a presentation, Mr. Chairman, would you present that?
Yeah, that's what I didn't do.
Can I get a group and the chamber down there?
We wanna put it on our,
I mean, the whole board, I think.
yeah, please.
Let's make sure everybody gets an invite. Come on now.
Again, I'll ask you to give me first, and then any other cameras can go next. All right, 3, 2, 1, and you.
Thanks, guys, appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, we'll move on to our consent items. Have everyone had a chance to go over your consent items? Any questions, discussion?
Questions? On number 7, with the interlocal agreement with Lafayette County, now what exactly does this encompass?
From what I understand, it's just a backup public safety answering point. So in the event of failure of our PSAP, Lafayette County would provide the backup. I know it's much more technical than that, but that's my understanding.
But this doesn't, I mean, this is for emergencies only. Our ambulances from here, what
No,
we're
this
going
is-
to do.
This is the call center, the 911 call routing. It's not emergency medical services at all. This is strictly for 911 calls. So it's for dispatch calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 9A,
Was 9A the,
is the
yes, this is the work squad agreement, and this is our local agreement with the Department of Corrections, so you can get inmate work squads.
Is it the same as before, same price, same conditions?
There's no cost.
Okay,
We pay the sheriff's office to provide the correctional officer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all.
There's a little typo on that, coming from the Lafayette County Attorney. And under Ashley, say I gave to the court, I should be, if we have to go to court.
What I did was, I did a funny on that and said that I was pretty sure that Lafayette County wouldn't want to commit to having a lawsuit in Taylor County. It would be decided if there was one, and they got all fired up and sent in a thing saying, what's the attorney talking about? You know, and Lynette McMillan, who's their attorney, got fired up about it, and I was just saying, I didn't think, you know, usually I put in our agreements that venue would in fact be Taylor County, and I said, if I put it in there, I know darn well, I thought if their attorney looked at it, they'd say, oh no, what's Conrad trying to do? And so it's nothing.
Troublemaker?
Pardon?
Causing trouble, Mr. Bishop?
I'm a troublemaker, yeah.
I heard
Yes,
that.
you can say that.
Okay. You're living up to the billing, all the way to Lafayette County.
You think you protested too much. Give you a little bit of Macbeth there.
All right, there's no other questions or discussion on your consent items, we'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion. Motion by Commissioner Bennett, second by Commissioner Moody, all in favor? Item 10, bids, public hearings, the board to hold a public hearing set for this date at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as possible to consider an application for a special event permit mud bog submitted by Iron Horse Mud Ranch event of February 27th through March 2nd and October 9th through the 12th, 2025, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Mr. Chairperson, there's some additional information that I handed out prior to the meeting. There were some missing documents and the checklist. I was able to complete the checklist and all the documentation has been provided. The certificate of insurance will need to be updated for the October event, and then we'll need another statement from the fire chief for the October event. But everything else looked correct in the packet.
Should we table the October then, since we don't, if we pass this and we don't have that, then, what happens? Or pass it contingent on that coming through?
I would pass contingent, I would pass contingent is what I would do. And
By when? Before?
what's our requirement? I mean, just have it in before the.
You can pass it contingent on that, but I tell you the truth, I'd like an updated entry consent statement and an updated hold harmless statement, because that's in 2021, so if they could get that, updated to 2025, it would be a help to us.
I can do that.
I know you could. But yes, ma'am, like I said, you can do it contingent on, pass it a contingent on that. But you need to ask for public comment, because it's a public hearing.
Okay, all right, so, this is a public hearing, so we will open it up to the public for any comment on this event. Anyone from the public? Do we have anyone on the line? All right. There's no one, we will close the public hearing and, any motion to approve?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Before, when y'all had the thing, this 7 to 7, is that when the loud music's gonna stop?
Was passed out, I got to do music till midnight.
I think this is when y'all shut all the trucks in the
Yes,
pond
sir.
down, right?
Correct. All nighttime riding stops, we shut the pits down at 7 o'clock, and then Friday and Saturday nights, we do tugs and have music going till midnight. And that's contingent on my complaints, and I didn't have an October event due to hurricanes. But March, I don't think we had any issues, and so last year I was able to go to midnight because we didn't have any complaints.
Friday and Saturday evening.
Yes, sir.
That is only calls I've had about y'all's operation down there, is that after 10 o'clock at night, people trying to sleep in the neighborhood and that loud music. I know y'all stop the trucks at dark and what have you, but loud music's on the issues that we've had out of that area down there.
Yep, I understand.
And I mean,
Is this in the city?
No,
no, it's down South 19. But if they'll cut that music, sheriff department's had to go down there and say something before to y'all, I'm sure, about the music neighbors calling. So I just wanted to, have that clear, that's what it's gonna be like it's been in the past, or you got a certain time?
Well, I think according to the sheriff, or the undersheriff, they had no issue.
I know, I've talked to the sheriff about it, but the thing is, he said that the music, but then I've had neighbors call and say they couldn't sleep, and they was working night shift, couldn't sleep.
I know the undersheriff sat in one of them chairs and we asked him the same question, and he said he had no issue.
Yeah, he told me that too, but the thing is, when people calling, I don't know if they, called him or not, but they called me about it, so.
Was that on the weekend? Commissioner, or,
Yeah.
you know, we started talking this and it impacted Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
But I think this is only Friday evening,
Friday and
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, sir.
yeah, but still people working, I mean, you know, that's the one that called me that was waking them up, so.
Mr. Chair, I've had calls about the loud music too, but I just want to verify, you don't allow any drugs or alcohol?
Correct, we check everything at the gate.
Say again?
We do a security check at the gate.
Okay, so people coming and going during the day and night, do you check them when they come back in?
Yep. If you leave my property, you get checked as soon as you come back in.
Okay, what do you do if you were to find somebody with alcohol, say for instance, or drugs?
We confiscate it. We call in law enforcement and they take care of it for us.
Thank you.
So, if there's nothing further, we will obtain a motion to approve.
Make the motion?
I know you do contingent on the information.
Yes, it's been presented.
Yes.
What is that, October?
February.
February
And
passed. October does need the new insurance.
Okay.
And he also said something about updating his paperwork to 2025 rather than 21.
Correct.
She was gonna get that done.
All right. So we have a motion to approve, contingent on the necessary requests. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Newman, all in favor?
Uh-huh.
All right. The county staff items, item 12, the board to consider approval of Florida Senate local funding initiative request for fiscal year 2025-2026, agendaed by Melody Cox, grant writer. Melody?
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, Melody, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So we are submitting 7 requests that the board has already discussed, and we added a 8th one, which we will discuss later into this. The requests that were approved was the courthouse air handling unit, the Ag and Expo Center, the fire station at Kiki Beach, Shady Grove Fire Station, the animal shelter, I don't know what I did with my paper.
It's the airport. Melody, it's the airport fire station.
I got it. The, fire rescue at the airport, the Taylor County Public Safety Complex. And what was added was Forest Capitol Hall Park, which included improvements to the, parking facility, which the design and engineering is complete. That was in the amount of $400,000. And then $150,000 for park general improvements, electrical and water infrastructure. And with that, a $50,000 in-kind and cash match is being provided by the Tourism Development Council.
Correct.
Is this
Any
one of
questions
the
on the project?
appropriations we asked for?
This is just approved and, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just
Well,
approved.
there's been a request for a change, which is what Melody's talking about. And Don, do you want to explain what the changes that you wanted? So originally, the Forest Capitol Park project was covering the arena and also the parking lot. Since we have the design for the engineering design for the parking lot. Then at last week's chamber meeting, Don brought up some infrastructure needs. So after looking at that, the suggestion is to put it into 2 parts. For the covering to be 1 part, and then the parking lot and the infrastructure improvements, a second request to bring the total cost of the project down, but that's with board approval. So it would lower the cost of the arena covering to $1 million, and then the parking lot and the infrastructure would be, Melody, that would be about $650,000. Is that accurate?
It's $600,000, $400,000 for the parking, and then the chamber amount was $200,000, However, the request for the budget appropriation is $150,000.
Okay.
So is this the one that has the fire stations on it and?
No, ma'am, this is,
It's the legislative, she's probably, this is the legislative list.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
This, if you're referring to the list, yeah, that's your list, right there on the front page, it's, this is a part of the legislative request, the appropriations that we send in every year,
Yeah,
that we come up with the public safety complex, the Keaton Beach Fire, Shady Grove Fire, Taylor County Ag and Expo Center, courthouse air handler, ductwork, animal shelter, and Taylor County, the fire rescue station 1. That's all of this, they're just referring to an addition here.
so it would,
Yes.
yeah.
And since you asked about fire stations, for Keaton Beach, we're asking for $2 million, Shady Grove, $1 million, Taylor County Fire Rescue at the airport, $2 million.
Okay.
That's the amount that the board has previously discussed.
Correct. Okay. Any questions from the board, or? If there's no questions, we will obtain a motion to approve moving forward. Motion. Motion by Commissioner Newman, second by Commissioner Moody, all in favor?
Thank you so much, and I will have the House requests are the same amount, but I will have the House request on the next agenda, just in case you all have any questions on the narrative or anything that was indicated on those. I will have them on the next agenda for you to ratify.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item 13, the board to consider approval of squad apparatus bid committee recommendation and purchase agreement presented by Dan Castle, our fire chief.
Good evening, everybody. So first off, when we reviewed the bid package, we only had the one from Vengeance Apparatus. They were originally over what we were budgeted for. After we reviewed, there was a few items that they couldn't get, so they substituted. That cost more, so we did some changing on that and getting it back within what we needed it to. So we're back down to $359,000 is what you should have in your packets, and that is within budget. Like I said, this is the same builder we used for the last truck that we used, so we have experience with them in the past. We didn't see any problems with the bid specifications, so just looking for approval, and we will proceed.
Very good. Any questions for the board? No questions, we will obtain a motion to approve.
motion?
A motion by Commissioner Fegel and a second by Commissioner Hess, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Beth. Moving on to County Administrator, item 14, the board to discuss Zillow versus Taylor County and consider the appointment of a commissioner to mediation presented by the county administrator.
This is in response to a suit filed by a previous employee. The attorney services are being handled by our liability company. However, and mediation is, Conrad, that's required as part of the process, correct?
Yeah, your word, yeah.
Yes. So we're asking if if the board can appoint a commissioner to attend mediation, and it will be on February
24th.
Thank you.
We're here in town.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's your office.
Is it the 24th or the 25th now? Let me double check.
24th. What time would it be?
What we found, if I may, Mr. Chairman, it's a good idea, although you're represented by the insurance company and our lawyer, it's been our experience lately that's a good idea for a commissioner to go. And if you haven't ever gone to a mediation and need to go to one, I think everybody here has been to one or two at one time. The other thing is that it'll either be Sonny or me there also, because, and the reason that we're there too is because we think that we know what y'all want to do. We don't want to be ramrodded, so to speak, on these kind of things. And the last mediation that Sonny attended, it was impasse. In other words, it's gonna go further. And so I think that, whoever gets to go will probably enjoy going to this mediation.
I don't mind to do that.
It's actually February 27th, I apologize. It's been changed, I know.
27th?
Who changed it?
It's been,
What time is this?
I don't think we have a time yet. We were asked to reserve the entire day.
Probably 9 o'clock, probably. And then anyway, if you approve Ms. Spiegel to go, it's a good idea to be there a little bit early to speak with either me or Sonny, whoever we decide who's going to represent us there. Give you kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on, and also explain the process, the mediation process to them.
So we, Mr. Figel has agreed to go. I think everyone's okay with that. Do we need to make a motion to? All right. So we'll take a motion to approve Commissioner Figel attending this mediation.
Move.
Motion by Commissioner Dent, second by Commissioner Moody. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 15, the board to receive SHIP HARP funding update presented by the county administrator.
Could you unmute Cameron Ferris? And then Melody on the line as well. Okay. So pursuant to what was brought up at the last meeting about our SHIP program.
Dogs, Mr. Bishop. Hang on. Got some extra attendees.
Hold on, Fido.
Get in here. Who's up next? I think they approved. We got a motion in a second.
So I have a report that I handed out that the consultants have provided, and also a copy of the contract that we have with this company. And on the line is a representative from the consulting firm to discuss the steps that they've taken with the SHIP HHRP program and answer any questions. And that, I believe, is Cameron Ferris. Are you on the line, Cameron?
Cameron?
Let me ask a question now. Is this for the money that we received for Adelia?
Yes.
And I see here on the first one, it says that there's 15 complete.
Yes.
There's 15 houses been complete.
No, those are applications that are complete.
Okay.
Those are 15 complete applications, 27 in progress, and 1 ineligible. So there's a grand total of 43 applications pending.
Cameron, is Cameron on the line?
I think the dog hung up the phone.
Let's see anyone.
He's on the line. He's on the line, but,
Cameron?
okay. Will you try to unmute Melody again in case she has, okay. So, and Melody, are you on the line as well? Just to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I am on the line.
So my understanding is that we have a group of 10 homes that are ready to go out to bid. So that will be on the next agenda. Those homes will go out to bid, and then right behind that, I know we are hoping for another group of, was it 7 or 10, Melody? That we're confident about?
10.
10, another 10.
There were 10 more.
Right. And those are just waiting on home inspections, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And we possibly may do them in 2 groups of 5.
Okay. Just to try to move it along, so we don't have people waiting. We did have a call, we've had a couple of discussions with the consulting company and, made it clear that this is imperative that we move forward with this process. And they assured us that they had 10 ready to go out to bid. Now, that process takes about 30 days. So they will be on the next agenda for advertising. Then those homes will go out to bid, and then we'll receive the proposals after, was it the April meeting, Melody, that we're looking at?
The first meeting in April at 6 o'clock. I have already gotten the times from Ms. Galena.
And that's just for the first 10.
That's for the first
And the
10.
rest of them then will come right in succession
Yes.
after that quickly.
That was my understanding today, and then we have 2 applicants for regularship that should be somewhere in the mix for 2 more homes. So with all the applicants we have, we don't know that we'll have enough funds available to serve everyone. But that will get, I mean, that's 22 homes that we're
Then
hoping.
how is it determined who gets approved? Because some people, they have lost their files 3 different times. So it's not the people's fault.
Right.
This company has lost, I know of one person that they've lost theirs 3 different times. Now, have you asked them what's going on with that? Why is this taking so long, and why are they losing these applications?
Well, I could not get a solid explanation today, but they did assure us. Well, first of all, in November, they started coming to Taylor County, which we asked them. I think the comment is, you need to do that along and along. If it's such a process to get through the application, please come to Taylor County more often. They were here last week to help people with the process. And I felt like we were reassured today that they would continue that moving forward. As far as, these applications are mailed, I didn't really get an explanation today as far as what's happening with the missing paperwork.
So where is the paperwork processed at? Do you know?
It is mailed to Tallahassee.
And they process it there?
Yes, and Melody, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it is first come, first served by the date of the application, not the date that they're approved, right?
That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So I am assuming that's what they are doing.
So, in other words, it's the date of that, my understanding is the date of the application. So if there is something lost in the process, it should not change whether or not they're eligible. It's not the date that they're approved, it's the date of the application.
That's
Yes.
really, that's good to hear. Now, just for my curiosity, how much money have we actually paid these people up to now?
So the way that's why I wanted you to have a copy of the contract. So the way the contract is written, and we may wish to change the way the agreements are written. We haven't had a problem up until now, but they are entitled to 10% of the amount of the award, and they bill monthly from the first month of the contract. So they are paid, I believe for the $3.1 million, they've received somewhere around $140,000. And it's so, when Melody and I were discussing it, which we've done a lot of the last couple of weeks, we believe the next agreement, we should consider being performance-based, not monthly amount. And because if it's, hoping that it's an incentive for it not to be such a long, drawn-out process.
So you said, how much, 100 and what?
140
140, that's all that's the extent of what we've given them.
for the Adelia funds. Now, our regular ship, they have received $35,000 in monthly increments because they're entitled to that. It's the way the agreement's written is once that agreement is executed, they bill us monthly, that 10, to total that 10%.
That's how much?
It's 10%, so
It's 30, what'd you say?
35
30?
35,000.
35?
Mm-hmm.
So that's $175,000. I want to tell you, I am extremely disappointed in this outfit because here we've given them over $100,000 and we don't have not one thing to show for it out of the $3.1 million that these people are waiting on homes, and they've got the money. and they've lost applications left and right, or at least they have for one person that I know of, and we have nothing for over $100,000. So I totally think that next time around I wouldn't use these people anymore, but whoever we use, we should not pay them ahead of time until they have produced.
And I don't, like I said, Melody and I have discussed this. This is, what I would say is the process for SHIP approval is laborious. And Melody, how many homes have we built in the last 5 years? Is it 12 or 13?
13.
13 homes in 5 years. So, and that's.
And that was regular SHIP funds.
Right.
Of course, we're doing CDBG right now too. So we do a combination of SHIP and CDBG.
Yeah.
So
I'm just more concerned with this 3.1 million and the money we've given them for nothing.
So, and I understand that homes are not on the ground, and we've had a contract with them for right at a year. And so we're at the point where we have 43 applications and they're ready to go out to bid. And that was the discussion we had is, can you imagine being in a home that's damaged by the storm and a year later, not having a new home? So I definitely.
A year and a half later.
Well, we got the money in December, so the contract was.
They've been out of a home though.
Oh, yes, ma'am. No, I understand. So we have asked for improvements to their process, more visits. They came in November after we discussed this situation with them. They were back last week. I think they need to be more hands-on, and they did not disagree. If it's such an issue to process the paperwork, please help us meet with our citizens and, help us come up with a better process so people are not waiting.
Just highly, highly disappointed in this outfit. Thank you.
I'll move to item 16, County Administrator to discuss informational items.
Let us say this, all 3 houses being reconditioned, rebuilt in the town of this size, there's no small creek.
If we can get all the applications, I don't know that we'll have funding for all 43, but we know we will have 20 or 22 moving forward. And then we'll have that will be a discussion of how much money we have for everyone left and how many more applications can be processed. I know we'll have some more regular SHIP money for 24-25. So we'll have to sort through all the applications to determine how many people can be helped.
Item 16, County Administrator to discuss informational items.
So just wanted to remind the board that there is a legislative delegation workshop scheduled for Saturday at 10 o'clock here in the boardroom. And this is to discuss, I think primarily the questions that came forth from the legislative delegation meeting about permitting and those issues.
We're going to talk about it, but can you just, what all groups are going to be here?
The Florida Division of Emergency Management, someone from FEMA, someone from, of course, Rep. Shove, Senator Simon will be here, someone from Neil Dunn's office, Tri-County, and Duke, I think is who we've got so far.
So someone from the Florida Building Code group will be here?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, DVPR will be here as well.
We just need them here because they're the ones that make these rules up, so we need them to give us the logic behind why they have these rules.
I forgot them.
Yeah, there's no logic. Now, how about our new building official? Are you gonna have him here so that he can participate?
I have not broken the news to him as of yet, but I plan to have him here.
Because I was thinking about that today, that would probably be a good idea. for him to be here also if possible.
And I did let Mr. Dudley know that we, and any other staff that needs to be involved, I'll ask them to be here.
Good. All right.
We have 3 callers on the line with their hands raised.
Give us the number. Last 4 digits.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 0228, is that what it says? Okay.
We got 0228, if you will, state your name and address.
Just put his hand down.
Oh, never mind, okay. Then 3034.
3034, if you will, state your name and address.
Hey, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey there. I'm sorry. Our hands were raised during the last discussion. My name's Joseph Sheet. I'm a director with Accenture. We were trying to get y'all's attention during the HHRP funding discussion. But if it's allowed, since I know this has moved on to non-agenda items, if we could speak on the matter, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So actually, I would like to, in a second here, I'll pass it off to Tara. I believe she is on the line as well with her hand raised. That is 0228. We passed on her before she could speak. So just to speak briefly on what was discussed. We've been administering the SHIP program there in Taylor County for several years, and had a great relationship with the county throughout this time. And we understand the frustrations and with what's going on and the timelines, and we are very excited that we have these homes that are ready to go out to bid, and Tara can speak more on the details of the process itself. But I just wanted to clarify a couple of the questions that were raised, specifically regarding the mail and the applications. The way the program's been set up for, I think since we engaged with Taylor County, it's been a totally 100% paper process. Some of our clients do a hybrid where they can do online or paper. And some are more comfortable with paper, right? They can be certified mail and those things. With those applications, they were sent, and unfortunately, they, for whatever reason, never reached our office. And we have tried to identify what happened, why they never reached our office. Obviously, it is a problem, and we cannot allow that to happen. So, to echo the sentiment that Luanda spoke on, yes, it has been raised, and we are addressing it to make sure that does not happen. Including, looking at our process and seeing, is there a better way to do it than having them mail their applications to our offices? So, and then regarding the funding and our contract, yes, the administrative, all of these grants through HUD and through most federal agencies, they allow up to 10% of the total grant award to be put to administrative costs. And there are some grant programs that don't take that much to administer. And a lot of them are more kind of large-scale capital programs that aren't, individual assistance based. Our current contract with the county does have that 10% capture because, and as Sarah can detail, going over the process a little bit here, the SHIP programs, the affordable housing programs are notoriously laborious from an administrative standpoint. With the burden of documentation that we have to have from every applicant to certify them. Regarding the structure of the contract, whether it's performance-based, whether it's flat fee, whether it's, time and effort, we're amenable to any contract structure that the county wishes to move forward with. We may be on the line as Accenture now, but previously, before that, we were Answer Advisory, and then for 20 years, going back 20 years here in the state, we were Government Services Group, or GSG, and have a long-standing relationship with the county, and we want to make sure that we continue to have that relationship with them. So, if whatever happens, we are amenable to that. we obviously, we have lessons learned from every engagement that we have across the country. And so there are definitely some lessons learned here that we are going to implement some changes immediately and have done so. You know, we've been on site there 2 different times to help the residents in person. And, you know, we will happily increase that cadence, frequency of that cadence, and you know, make sure that we can be there to help those that are in need when you know, when necessary. So with that, I wanted to pass it over to Tara, because I know she has some things to clarify as well. Excuse me. Because Tara is the, you know, overseeing the project as the project manager on a day-to-day basis. I oversee all of our engagements here in the Southeast United States. So, but we love working with the county. We understand the importance of this work and are willing to do what it takes to make sure that, you know, these projects come to completion and as quickly as possible. So on that note, I believe Tara 0228. Is it possible to pass it over to her?
Yeah, if you will, hold tight for a minute. I think Commissioner Fiegel had a question.
Yes, in regards to you all saying that you did not receive the applications, there was one lady last week that met with the representatives, and she said that she sent her application by certified mail, that it was received and signed for by y'all, that it had been received, and that she's still getting notices that you've never received it. So how do you explain that?
So I don't know the, excuse me, I don't know the intimate details of that one, but, you know, we do have our office up there in Tallahassee, and there's, you know, typically there's someone there at the front desk, but again, I don't know who signed for it. That's something that we'll look into, say, you know, who's signing for our mail, especially if we're not getting it, that's a problem. And you know, I don't want any engagement to have confusion on who's signing for things, who's getting them. So obviously, yeah, something there that it doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 15. If it happens to one person, we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Well, I would like for you or someone in authority to follow up with that, because that's a problem. This lady has sent in more applications, and then when she finally became so frustrated that she sent it a certified mail, and y'all signed for it, and you still say that you didn't receive it. That's a problem. And I know one person that he has sent his in now, as of last week, for the 4th time. Do you keep those applications and look at them in Tallahassee? Are they processed in Tallahassee?
So, and Tara can speak more to the intimate details of the process. Yes, they are received at our Tallahassee office, and then they are scanned in digitally so that we have a digital record of them. But so it seems like there was something where, again, I don't know exactly the details, right, what happened in that process, but if things are coming to our office and they're not making it to the desk or someone's signing for them and we're not receiving them, right, that's clearly some type of organizational issue, and yeah, not something that we're going to stand for without making sure we get to the bottom of it and rectify it to ensure it never happens again.
Okay, let's back up. I asked, do you process those applications in your office, or are they sent to someone else in Tallahassee to do it? Or what happens to them? Do y'all physically process them in your office?
So all of our workforce is typically remote. We do have our office location. So when they come to the office, they're typically set aside for you know, one of our team members, and we pick them up multiple times a week and come get them, and then they are scanned in and digitized and processed. You know, they're both in person and digitally.
So, Commissioner Fiegel, may not want to say names out loud, but would it be beneficial? Sounds like you have 2 that's been coming back to you that their applications have fell through the cracks, and maybe wanna get those names to LaWanda.
Sure, no
So
problem.
these guys can go track these down and maybe not get overlooked.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think, it sounds like these guys have been trying to get in touch with you guys and send an application in, and with, no luck, so maybe good to really dive into these two and see what's going
Well,
on.
it's a shame that,
Yeah.
it's a shame that we have to use our county administrator, who is very busy, to do your job for you. There were other people, from my understanding last week, that also said that they had sent in multiple applications too. So this is a real problem with you all. I'm not happy about it at all. Conrad's got something to say.
I totally understand your frustration. It is our top priority right now within this program to make sure that the issue is rectified and does not happen again.
So I think, can you hear me?
Hold on one second, Terry, we got Mr. Bishop, the attorney, will say something.
When you send something.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you. When you send a letter, return receipt requested, there should be a green card that's signed by whoever received it. That green card is sent back to the person who sent the letter. My suggestion would be for us, you, or you know who these people are, say, do you have the green card? And could you make a copy of it for it so we could send it to these people so they could know who in fact signed for that letter, Ms. Fiegel?
Thank you.
Make sense?
Yeah, that would be incredibly helpful.
Okay. Terry, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to follow up on, everything Joseph, has spoken, to already. I did want to address one concern that I think you guys discussed earlier when we were unable to come off mute. So with the applications that we've already income, verified, at the last board meeting in November, I was able to be there in person, and I think I brought it up, and we kind of all came to a consensus that amongst all the applicants who applied, so there's 43 in total, we are date and time stamping them as when received. However, I think I had mentioned and asked if it would be preferable, and I actually recommended this, and I think it was agreed to, that applicants are deemed eligible for funding as, so it's first come, first served, but as they are income qualified. So the first set of 10 applicants, while not in any particular order, applied, got all the proper documentation in order, and we were able to income certify them. So that's how they were deemed eligible. You guys had mentioned earlier that you wanted it in a particular date in which they submitted the application. So that would be different than what was spoken to several months ago at that board meeting. And so I want to bring that back around so we can, I can get a better understanding of what exactly the process is that you would like.
Terry, I would think that we would probably use the date of the application and go in order, and if you had someone that was not income certified, then you would, maybe they are ineligible at that point, but you still going down the line of when you receive the, of the date of the application. But that.
If I could, I think.
Right.
Where,
Hold on,
in an LCAP, it's
Terry, hold on a second.
hold on. So I think the concern is that if there is an issue within the process where people are sending in documents and it's not being received in your office, that they should not be penalized.
That's right.
Great.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Tara? So.
I understand. There are also other factors involved with that too. Some applicants could be more responsive, and that's not to say who's receiving correspondence from our office and who's not, but you have to consider not just documents that we haven't received from certain applicants, but there are other factors involved with who's more responsive to our notices. We're very diligent about notifying applicants of missing documentation. Sometimes some are not as quicker on the turnaround than others. And per the LHAP, just a reminder that the recipient selection criteria just say applicants are assisted on a first qualified, first served basis. So that would align with them first come, first serve as we income qualify them. But if you guys would like us to go back to who submitted the application first, we can, but I will tell you that might change the first 10 that we have ready to go. Because if I was to wait on, let's say, the first 5 applicants looking at our application log, they might not be ready to go yet, but some people down the line already are.
So that would hold up, that would hold up the whole process, I think is what, here's my understanding of what you're saying, hold on. So if you have 5 people that apply, and 3 of the folks are not responsive to your notices, you didn't want to hold up all 5. You wanted to go by who, because some people may never respond. They may, well, I think that's the concern, or they may be slower to respond, or they may not be able to provide the needed documentation. So that would that would hold up the whole process, I think is the concern. Is that right? But I understand what
Let
you're
me
saying.
add this though.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but of the 5 or 10 or however many it is, they may have filled their application, they might have been number 43 or number 40. And so that more ensures that they may get a home, where if the person that they keep contacting was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I know this one person that he has been asked, he's been notified to say, well, we didn't receive this in your packet. And there's copies made where it was sent. So that, I'm not understanding all of this. It doesn't make sense to me.
So I think what we can do, being that this is obviously a very nuanced situation, is we can go in and take a look at the applicants that have had any of those mailing issues, and to see where they were in the order, right? If they were, if they would have been number 26, right, instead of number 7, 8, or 9, right, then we'll still get the documentation, right, have them on the list, but it's kind of see where everything lays and see if there's any potential exceptions that need to be made. Obviously, we don't want to penalize someone for whether it's, it getting lost at the office or just some, things get lost in the mail sometimes, right? And we don't want to penalize applicants for that, right? We do still want to make sure we adhere to the established process, but obviously, right, as, some situations call for exceptions. So, Tara, let's coordinate later, but if it's agreeable to y'all, what we can do is just take a look real quick and over the next day or so and see kind of where the applicants are that are having these issues, and then get back with the county with some information and see how we want to proceed.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify that these HHRP funds, while they were allocated, shortly after Hurricane Idalia, Florida Housing has confirmed that they can assist residents who were impacted by Hurricane Debbie and even Hurricane Helene. We don't have to differentiate the damages between any of the hurricanes, not that I don't think that would be very plausible, but so we can assist any residents impacted by any of the hurricanes encountered. Moving forward, it has been discussed potentially that, and just to throw it out there, just food for thought, that because we already have, right, quite a list of applicants, and I know there's concerns or sensitivity to who's going to receive funding and who's not, there is always the option to quote-unquote waitlist anyone who doesn't get it. And each shift allocation coming hereafter, we would be exempt from advertising the SHIP funds because we have a wait list. and we can just keep going down the approved list of HHRP applicants. So we don't necessarily have to say, well, you're not gonna get funded, right? We would have to wait for the next fiscal year allocation, and we could fund people in that order. So there are options moving forward. Unfortunately, the 3 million is only gonna get us so far with the abundance of residents who were impacted. But I just wanted to throw that out there just for consideration with regular SHIP funds moving forward. Florida Housing has confirmed that you can use SHIP funds to help assist, I guess you could consider them HHRP applicants, so applicants who are affected by a disaster can be assisted with regular SHIP funds, but you can't use HHRP funds to assist residents who weren't impacted. So we have the potential to fully fund this list, but it would take some time and patience with the SHIP allocations coming in the near future. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but we will certainly take a look at the list, try and put together kind of a time frame for each of the applicants to let you know where they stand in relation to the date and time they submitted it. And we will send that over to you guys for review so you can provide your thoughts and feedback on that.
Right. Thank you, Tara. All right. We will move on to item, was that all the information items was?
Yes.
We're down to 17, comments and concerns from the public for non-agenda items. Comments and concerns from the public for non-agenda items. Come on. You will state your name and address.
I will. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna pass these out. There's two. There you go. Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, we need one for the record. We need one for the record if you want. One for the record. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will tell you that the meeting that my name is Madeline Collins. My home was 1490 Easdale Beach Road. I now live at 601 East Leon Street. And remember, they put together people to go out to the Forest Capitol Hall. And I will tell you that the people that I talked to, the FEMA man wasn't even from this state, he said, I don't know anything to answer you. The state give me this paper called Elevate Florida. And that's the second and third one. And they don't even have an application available for me to fill out right now. It says 1 to 4 months. And when I fill it out, they have 1 to 4 months to review it. And then if they approve it and they contract it out, that's 2 to 3 more months. And the last construction and closeout is 6 to 12 months. Now, I'm gonna apply whenever that application becomes available. And I talked to one structural engineer, and I have a second one that I'm going to talk to, because the first one was like $1,500 for plans, and I just can't afford that. The second one says maybe around 500, but I haven't met with that person yet. Can we extend the deadline for the permits being excused from payment to next month?
My response to that question, you're the only person that I've talked to about an extension from this point. So, I mean, I have talked with folks in the past that we're still trying to get that information together, but I have not discussed that with anybody before, because I was not asked to anytime during the last month.
I'm asking them, I'm asking y'all, can y'all extend that? I guess, even if it's just me.
What was the last?
On the agenda.
I'm sorry?
It's not on the agenda.
Yeah, I know it's not on the agenda to do it today, but when the extension we done last, did that go to the end of January or February?
I thought it was January 31st.
Right, January,
If
so
I recall correct.
Right.
Because we said then we could revisit it as needed, but again, I can't tell you everybody got the permits, but I can tell you I was not contacted over the last month. So, and given the budget concerns and such, I wasn't contacted. That's kind of where I'm at with it, so.
Was that a yes or a no?
So right now, we did extend it through the January 31st, and we don't have anything on the agenda to extend it any further at this time.
So that's a no.
Right now, we don't have any plans to extend it.
Okay, so that's probably gonna have to wait. Okay. I have another thing. That meeting Saturday, is it open to the public?
Yes, ma'am.
What time is it?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, and is it here?
Yes, ma'am.
And the next question I have is for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember me giving you my name and phone number? Because I asked about the mitigation funds that had come.
That was the Elevate Florida program.
No, ma'am.
It
I
was-
asked you about the mitigation funds.
Right.
For like Adelia, Debbie. I know Helene hasn't probably got any funding, but I know Adelia did. And you were gonna call me back about the mitigation fund.
I'm sorry, so the mitigation funds for Adelia were not for housing. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you were asking about Elevate Florida. So
Oh, so you knew about this, then, 3 meetings ago?
that I knew that was a possibility, but I did not have any information on Elevate Florida at that time. So the mitigation funds that you're referring to for Adelia, none of that money was allocated for housing. If you're talking about.
I didn't ask you.
Okay.
About renting a place. Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am.
Housing. What kind of housing is it's not money for?
So the HMGP funding that was made available for Adelia, there is a process where it's called the local mitigation, it's the LMS. There's a process you go through, and that committee ranks the projects that would be recommended for mitigation funding. And that funding that was received by the county was not allocated for housing projects. So
my roof that Adelia messed up, and the living room and the bedroom and the kitchen that the water came in and messed up my ceilings and my insulation, none of that money would have went to fix that.
no, ma'am, because the HMGP program for housing, what that does is provide a buyout of housing. And so the house would be purchased for fair market value, and then that property would be used for green space. So that was not a recommendation for the HMGP funding. It was for stormwater improvements.
The one that y'all didn't get a bid on for Steinhatchee. For a flood plan, some kind of, something that had no money, nobody applied for.
Okay. That was ARPA funding. So that was a different type of funding. That was not mitigation funds. So my understanding for Helene is that the state is going to administer the Elevate Florida and the HMGP program.
Yeah.
Directly with
1 to 4
citizens.
months.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
1 to 4 months. The application will be available.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in 1 to 4 months, and I go online to www.floridadisaster.org, subscription desk topics, and find the application.
I'm not familiar with the
That's what
application.
it says right here.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So, Ms. Collins, do you want to maybe get with the administrator after the meeting and just maybe go over that?
Oh, I'm
You want to
sorry.
get with the administrator after the meeting and maybe show her what you're looking at, maybe get some more direction on what you're looking for?
Well, I'd rather do that Saturday at that meeting.
Right.
If that'd be all right.
Sure.
I think emergency management's gonna be present, so certainly they could answer questions about the Elevate Florida program.
Yeah.
I would think.
Well, thank y'all for postponing the $1,000 fee through 3 days ago.
Any other comments and concerns from the public for non-agenda items?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, County Administrator, Clerk, I appreciate your time this evening. I'll be as brief as possible. I have one quick handout.
Could you state your name and address? Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, my name is Michael Richter. I am the Vice President of Boyd Insurance Investment North Florida Division. My office is in Bristol. I'm from Liberty County, so I feel for you as you talk about all these hurricane recoveries. I'm a Hurricane Michael survivor and recovery myself. So, and I can tell you at that time, the people of Taylor County were exceptionally generous with their support to Liberty County. I remember that we were in public need out of my office there in Bristol. So, purpose of me visiting with you this evening, Commissioners, is to introduce myself. Boyd Insurance had a long-standing working relationship with Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust, which is a competitor, the top competitor with your current incumbent carrier for your property and liability coverage for the county. And I'm targeting you. I'm here on purpose through evaluation. We feel like we're in a very competitive position. Would like to do a little more research. I've talked with the clerk. We're gonna maybe get some public record information that we can use to get some premium indication from underwriting, and come back to you at a later time with that. But it's important that I come to you early in the year now, because we have an event that we're putting together on February 25th here in the Panhandle. I'm working to bring services here. I know it's cumbersome to travel your staff and cost money as well. And this is a service that they put on across the state, and so we're going to host it and pay for it here. It's free to the county. Be an opportunity for Taylor County commissioners or administrators or staff to come and interact with current membership counties and cities that have transitioned from one carrier to the other in the past. Talk to them directly about what their experience has been, the services they've received, rather than just take my word for it. The sales guy that shows up. I mentioned that to the clerk earlier, but would love to host you and have you there if possible. It's going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, there in Bristol, the information is on this one page on the right-hand side of the flyer. And we're going to have some sessions for subject matter that has been requested from membership throughout the state. There will be subject matter experts and attorneys there. We'll have some question and answer and trainings for you. Provide lunch, wrap up the day around hopefully 2:30. This is all Eastern time, so your staff could travel back within the workday. We feel like we'll provide a great value if you would spare the time to come over and visit, and may give an opportunity to start the due diligence process for considering what options might be out there for Taylor County and your taxpayers. We feel like we could provide a significant benefit and savings to the county. And I'll do more research to be more confident when I say that and tell you a little more directly what we feel like we can do. But, in this packet that I'm sharing with you, it's just a little bit of marketing material, tells you a little bit about us, but primarily what I wanted to do was come personally invite you and ask you if you would, please join us. And if so, there is a QR code down at the bottom to register, so I do need everybody to register, so we have a head count, we know who's coming, I can prepare for you, and seating and food and all that. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. You want to get any questions?
No, I just think, that it doesn't hurt to listen to somebody. I mean, he may be able to help us out.
Sure, especially in the times we're coming.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. So, we do appreciate you.
And we'll say, just food for thought, Liberty County did transition last year, so they have that experience of what it was, coming into it, so give you an opportunity to talk with them too, if you get an opportunity to visit. I know we got a new clerk, but, there are people in the office that's dealt with it, and.
Who's your point of contact here?
Here, this is it, so it'll be you and Chairman.
I mean, you're on.
I'm sorry, I
You're on
haven't
the
been.
insurance committee, then these two are,
Okay.
probably need to.
And I tried to get here before the end of the business day, and I didn't make it in my travel time, but I'm intended to see you, Ms. Pemberton, as well ahead of time, so forgive me for getting out of order. I just wanted to get to the meeting tonight and at least start this conversation.
Why don't you get with LaWanda then, and then you can see, come up with some times or whatever we need to do.
Well, and probably there needs to be a decision made if we want to go out to bid at all, because there are other competitors who would like an opportunity.
Yeah, well, let's listen to all of them then.
You've got three in the state. You're with one, we represent the other, and there's a third.
Yeah, I think it's good to listen to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. By the time, my card there.
Okay, my card is in there. You have my card?
Oh, yes, if it's in here.
And I think I can get you on the website, so.
If we can save some money, I'm okay with doing what we did. If it saves us, we should do that.
Okay.
I forgot about my question on number 1. I said, I know I have to have a structural engineer letter about the columns, but do I have to have the building plans before I get the permit?
If you're rebuilding, then I don't know what your home looks like. I apologize.
All I have is the columns.
Right, yes.
Underneath.
Right, yes, we would need plans for the building if you're planning to rebuild.
Well, but if this Elevate Florida comes into play, and they will do other things, then my plan's gonna change. So how much do I owe them if I change my plan?
I don't know. Why don't we go through are you asking if you get a
I'm
permit?
asking, yeah.
If you get a permit and then you get funding through Elevate Florida? Are you asking if you'll be refunded?
No.
Okay.
I said, what extra? Let's see, what did I say? Oh, number 4. If I submit my plans now and Elevate Florida allows me to become one of their clients, my plans will change. Will there be an additional fee?
Right, change order, so to speak.
I think she's asking for the permit fee. So you're asking if you.
Number 4 on the paper I gave you.
Asking if she gets her permit, and then whatever this Elevate Florida, if they do whatever she's requesting from them, that her plans will probably change, and she's asking, does she have to pay more for an additional permitting, or is it?
I wouldn't think so. A permit is good for 180 days, and then you can extend it if.
How much does it cost to extend it? Because obviously, this won't even be available for 4 months. So I need a 4 months extension on just that.
So what I was trying to say was the initial permit is good for 180 days, but you can extend it another 6 months if you need to. And we don't charge for that,
Okay.
okay?
Right. And do y'all know anything about this Elevate Florida? I should have made copies for y'all, but there's like, 3 or 4 pages. And it always is more information regarding eligibility will be announced soon. So there's nothing except hope. Now, do I have to have a permit if I don't do anything in the next 6 months?
We don't.
Since it's not gonna be free anyway, I will have to pay for it.
If you're just
So-
handing out free money to do nothing, we'll take it.
I'm sorry?
If you're just handing out free money to do nothing, we'll take it, but I mean, if you're not building anything, then there's no
There's no
permit.
need for a
There's nothing
permit.
to
Did
charge
that.
for.
It may just create more process for extensions if you're not gonna be moving forward and building. So,
I don't have any money to move forward for anything.
sorry about that.
No, that's exactly right.
So, I mean, if you want your permit, you could certainly get that, but I think it just may add to the process with having to come back to the building department for extension.
Well,
Unless I'm out of turn.
my question was, do I have to get a permit now?
No, you're not required to get a permit until you're.
You're ready.
Until you're
Yeah.
ready to build something. If you're not ready to build
Till I get
anything
ready to
for,
build.
if you're not ready to build anything for 5 months, then you'll get your plans in 5 months, have your plans.
Well,
ready.
hold on, I know what she's probably getting to. So, there is a year period where you can rebuild, is that what you're talking about?
I don't, this, from application to the end of it, sounds like more than a year to me. And if I have to wait 4 months to even find out
Right.
that I can apply,
It depends, it depends on where your home is, so you are.
Ezel Beach.
Ezel Beach, okay. But you're more than 50% damaged if the columns are
My
left.
top house is no longer there.
Okay.
Only the columns
Okay.
and the cement underneath.
Okay, so I don't think the year comes into play. I think we need to look at that particular address and determine I don't think the year is going to affect you, as far as any type of time frame. So it's more than 50% damage, so it's almost basically you're just starting from scratch, basically.
Well, the one construction engineer that did look at it said that if the elevation for Ezel Beach was 17 feet, I don't know how high I am in elevation, but he said if I needed to go up 3 more feet, that cost-wise, it would be more productive to tear it all down and start from the scratch.
So the only concern I have about your particular situation is I don't believe the Elevate Florida program will fund a total new construction in the B zone, which you probably are in a B zone if you're right on the water.
So they're not gonna elevate it. They wouldn't put, new pylons up for the right feet.
Well, I think, and I'm not the subject matter expert, so I don't want to speak out of
If it's only,
turn.
I think, please don't, it doesn't matter then, does it?
I'm
Because you
sorry.
can think all day, but if it ain't so, it ain't so.
Okay, well then I will withhold my comments.
Okay.
Okay.
If you know something for sure, share it.
If you'll look at the FAQs, see if you can see anything about a V zone.
Well, maybe we get these questions answered maybe after the meeting, or maybe we look at this after the meeting's over. If you will, Ms. Collins, let's maybe move on through the meeting, and then we can get these, maybe get with the administrator, and we can get these questions answered after the meeting.
Are houses that wasn't necessarily if the flood, did the flood take care of all the houses? What do you call it, the tide, the whatever, is every house that was destroyed put to flood?
Ms. Collins,
Yes, sir.
why don't we get through the meeting and then maybe get your questions answered with the administrator after the meeting? Maybe get with her after the meeting and we can look at some of the details of some of your questions.
Why don't I just make y'all copies of this and bring it to you Saturday?
But that's fine, I mean, I could probably Google Lake, Florida, but sure, that'd be fine to bring it to us Saturday.
Okay, all right. Let's do that. I'm either hot or my blood pressure's off. I don't know which. So I don't have to get a permit until I start to build.
I would say so, but I would get my questions answered for sure. Let's let the administrator look at what you're really trying to do and make sure she gives you, you're able to get the right answer. And I don't want
I can't do anything until I have some money,
to. Okay.
or until somebody's gonna redo my footing.
Well, I would do that. Okay.
In your house is where is it? Ezel Beach, you said?
Yes, sir. There was a store and the house next door. Mine had a chain link fence all the way around, and it had block columns poured with concrete with rebar in it, and our footings was 3 by 3 by 3. Those footings didn't go anywhere. Most of the ones that was not hit by the debris from the store and the house next door, what they did, they come in and hit my walls, and the whole roof just sit down right there. It didn't go anywhere. No water washed it anywhere. Some of my flooring, my cabinets, and my wood stove that in 1970 was bought for around $600, because that's what we used to heat the whole house, is gone. I don't know how it took 6 men to put it in my house, but it's gone. The concrete steps that I had for our back house is gone. Some of the things, not floor joists, but the things that the floor joists sit on, somebody stole some of them.
Oh, somebody got it?
Yes. I got pictures before and after. And yes, they took a bunch of things. They took some of my pots, they took some of the little things that we got out of it.
Ms. Collins, we're gonna move on with the meeting. If you got some specific questions to your permitting, let's just get with the administrator afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, anything else, from the public for non-agenda items? Anyone online?
She just had her hands jumped.
All right, we'll move on to item 18, board informational items. Commissioner Fiegel?
Yes. Well, somebody called me today and said that the debris people had come by and that they would not pick up the debris because everything had to be cut in 4-foot pieces. Now, this is the first time I've heard of that. Have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
So they went on and said, you know.
Let me double check. It may be that the equipment that they're using they may have to come back for larger pieces. Because I know there are other places that have large, entire trees and tree trunks and all that they have not picked up yet. But I'll double check. Let me confirm that.
I was wondering, this is the first time I heard that, and if that's the case, then Well, anyway, just check on it. Did you find out anything, about the big old pile of stuff in front of the stucco house on Johnson Strickland? Have you got any answers on that?
No, I don't think we have any confirmation of if it was placed out by the right of way. And I need to send you the pictures that I have, because the pictures that I have, I mean, it's a large debris pile, but it doesn't look like, an entire house sitting in the right of way. So I just want to make sure we're talking about the same place. I think we know where it came from, but I don't know that it doesn't qualify for removal.
Because, like I said before, they've made a big pile, it's mixed.
It is. I think we're talking about the same thing.
But, we need to know what's what, what's gonna happen.
As far as I know, it will be removed.
How they gonna dig through it then? I thought they would not mess with anything that was mixed.
But it's all mixed construction debris, right?
Well, there's mattresses and all kind of stuff there, household garbage and.
Okay. I just got a map today of all sites that were considered ineligible. I haven't had time to go through all the pins on the map. I don't know that that was one of the spots, but I will double check.
Okay.
If it's not on this map, and there was maybe 25 spots that we're going to be responsible for picking up, which is not as many as I thought there would be. So I think as long as it's not considered ineligible, it should be removed, but I'll make sure.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay, this is on,
Johnson Street,
Johnson
it's
Street,
down,
okay.
if you're going from town.
Yeah.
By way of Joe Big Burns there, that way.
Okay.
It's, between the voting house, the fire station, and the end of the road, where at the end of the road, it turns into Robert's Amen.
That's what I thought.
It's on that stretch where there's no houses.
Right, right.
I mean, not until you get to the end anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Flush them to the curb or to the Robert's Amen Road.
That's all.
I'd have one, Roy Deal, that was a wreck down there a couple of weeks ago in front of Roy Deal. They was asking the speed limit, could it be changed? Or is that possible to get a black and white with the solar panel on it to remind people driving that that was a business? And probably need to,
We asked DOT about that one time, right here in this meeting, when they were here, and they passed right over it, there's been several people killed right there in front of Roy Deal backing out because people going so fast. The last one was run over by a log truck right there,
I'll remember that.
and,
We
and
can
it
send
was
it back to DOT and ask about it.
We need to pin them down on, how many people need to get killed before you can get the speed limit changed? Because they passed it over that night, they acted like, that wasn't, and I've heard in the past that when you have red flag and people get killed, they're supposed to do something about the speed limit. Like you say, if you had a blinking light there that showed the speed limit, they're going, 60 and it speed limit was 40, maybe it would help,
Well, one problem is there's just, on certain nights, there are so many cars there. And they're parked so close to the road, and they have to back out. And when you've got cars on each side of you, because we've been there some, and you can't see for the cars around you until you've backed out, and then there you are, we've all been there and seen that.
Yeah, for sure. But they did talk to us one time about it, and they didn't act like they wanted to do nothing about the speed limit right there. But, it really needs to be something taken care of about it. It is dangerous. A lot different going 45 and somebody going 65 down that highway right there.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just thank our staff for the work that's going into all these efforts and the debris that's already gone. I'm certainly thankful for and looking forward to the closure of this adventure. Thank you very much for that. And I also am thankful for the addition in respect to the potential for appropriations. I think those are going to be key in respect to our recovery, the effects that it will have, and also the opportunities that it will present. I want to congratulate our youth again and our exhibitors that were here earlier. I think it's a great accomplishment in their part of learning all the lessons that come with this opportunity. So I wish them very well with their exhibits and they do well in the fair. So I also see that in the potential with our Ag Center and the Expo Center that we've talked about, and not just the economic side of how that can positively impact our community, but have a great effect and impact on our youth, giving them more opportunity. And I think that's a great part of our job, and it's very good to see that potential and see them here tonight. So for those 3 that are going to state, and for those 12 that were talked about by Ms. Stark, congratulations, and we'll look forward to greater successes. Thank you.
Mr. Moody?
I've had several people call me and show me the stuff that's still left in the canal at Eaton Beach and Cedar Island and at Dark Island. One fellow's doing a drone at low tide down there. He's gonna get me a copy of it. Maybe we can show rooftops and stuff like that in the canal. They say you cannot go down that canal low tide with a big boat, on the boat ramp without bumping and hitting something. I mean, I've had several different people call me about that lately. Said that the gentleman that's in charge of making sure all that side there, he's more or less saying, oh, well, they done got everything, but they haven't.
No, and if I could speak to that, no.
We're talking with staff about that. I know there's been some misinformation about where that's at, but I believe the tides are basically what's limiting. And I believe they've had folks down there getting what they can by hand.
Right.
So I don't believe they're to a point of saying it's complete.
I
I
spoke
know
with
that's
someone yesterday. I've spoken to 2 people in the last week and asked them for this footage so I can pass it along to the contractor and the state. That's the only way I can communicate to them. So there's a spot at Deacle that we're asking about, and we've also asked for footage at low tide from the contractor so we understand what's left in the canal.
I've talked to people that's talked to the contractor, and he said, oh, we done got all of it.
I just need if they will just send me pictures, I will send it on to the state so we can make sure that we're on the.
With a drone and try to take a good picture of all of it at dead low tide.
Yeah. I spoke with someone yesterday about that, and I've asked a couple of times, y'all, send me pictures and I will send it to the state, because otherwise I need to draw their attention to it with pictures.
Right. Okay, that's all I got.
All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn? No. You have a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.